For me, Star Wars has always been part of my life. From the excitement of seeing the films over and over again, to collecting the toys when I was younger. And every episode, when you sit in that cinema, you get that nostalgic excitement. The problem is, with each episode, the excitement has turned into cynicism. And you can't help but think, this is just going to be a nightmare.
I will find her, and I will find the makers of these Star Wars films, and show them how it is done like in Rogue One. You will make them better.
So Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is an okay film. But how could it be changed to make it better? How could it be changed to make it much better with small or bigger changes? This is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, you might want to go see it, you might not. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. How would I change it? The problems with the latest 3 Star Wars films is there's no consistency of story from each episode. There doesn't seem to be a roadmap about from beginning to end and where they wanted to go and what they wanted to do. Every episode seems to do a slightly different thing. If you've seen this film in the cinema, it's a lot better because the spectacle, the sound, everything looks better. The problem is when you watch it at home, a lot of that diminishes. The problem with too many jokes in the film is that they override the seriousness of consequence. You don't feel like the characters are ever in danger, even when they get captured or get shot at. You just don't feel anything. And they're still making jokes throughout all that too. Fake deaths in films never go down well with audiences. And there are 2 in this film within about 20 minutes. So Chewbacca, that we think gets blown up in the spaceship. And then C-3PO gets his mind wiped. And before long, they're both in the scene again as if nothing has happened. When they get captured on the starship, and they're just about to be shot down by stormtroopers, they are still joking about it. And having comic moments between each characters when they're about to die. There's no consequence to this scene at all. We just don't feel anything. We don't feel they're going to get hurt. It's just one big joke. Make it more serious. If they're about to get shot, make us feel it. Rogue One is a great example of how to use humour in a serious film. They used K2 as a straight-talking android, but it wasn't ever distracting away from the story. When they were fighting on the old Death Star surrounded by water, it's the best scene in the film. It's incredible. The problem with this scene is at the end when Ben realises his mum's died and stops fighting. But in the previous films, he almost tried to kill her. So why would he be so upset this time that she died, when in previous films he tried to kill her? The problem with this scene is Harrison Ford at the end. He looks like a shaggy dog. I'm reluctant to criticise Harrison Ford in anything. He's brilliant, but he just looks shabby and like he doesn't care about the film or the scene, which he probably doesn't know. I don't blame him. But they just needed to give him a haircut. So in the 3rd act of the film, where we see those whole fleet of Star Destroyers, like a whole sea of them, I don't know how many there are, it's just ridiculous. And we're meant to believe that they've made all these in such a short space of time. And they're all coming out the ocean, and they're all planet destroying. It's just ridiculous. Why would an Emperor Palpatine? He's too powerful. He's not that powerful in the previous films. And the other funny scene is when the Emperor restores himself from Rey and Ben, you think, oh, he's going to turn back young again. But he still looks really crap. He's just, you know, he can heal himself completely and that's the state he ends up in, still like a monster. Anyway, why are all the stormtroopers crap? In every film, they're crap. They can't shoot, they stumble around, they're useless. And when all the Star Destroyers started sinking into the ocean again because they're all connected to one starship, why? All the other starships before have always been independent. Why aren't all these ones? It just doesn't make sense. It's too convenient that all these starships are going to crash into each other and crash into the ocean because one of them is the guiding. At the end, when Rey goes to live on Tatooine again, why would anyone want to live on Tatooine? It's a desert, dried up hole. I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi only stayed there to hide, and he thought no one would find him there. He wouldn't choose to live there. So another thing I would change is, why bring back Palpatine? In the previous films, he was really good, obviously, but his story arc finished. Now they've brought him back to life. Does that cheapen the rest of the films? Does it make that whole film story plot stupid? Couldn't they have made a new character for them to focus on? A new evil character, sinister and more alluring as well. So the character Finn performed really well, good character, really good, one of the best in it actually. The problem is they lure to him being a Jedi, like some kind of sensory Jedi, but never resolve that. I mean, throughout this film he's about to say a big secret, but never does, and it never gets answered. It's a fundamental flaw in a film if you don't answer the questions that are raised, like a big secret. I finished watching the film and thought, I didn't answer the question, what's going on? Adam Driver, who plays Ben, is really good, his character is brilliant. He's really sinister from the first scene in the forest to the last. Performed really genuinely, he's believable, and he doesn't make any jokes, so that's maybe why he's the best one in it. So what would I change about Star Wars Rise of Skywalker to make it better? There's just too many things. There's too many big changes and small to make it into a classic film. They need to start again from the ground up with a basic story idea, how it's styled, how it's themed, and have a set of 3 films which make sense to each other and a continuing plotline that makes sense. It really has been so disappointing for so many people. But are they meant for children? The original Star Wars films in the 70s were designed for children, and it happened that adults liked them as well. That's why it was so popular. So are these new set of films designed for children exclusively as well? And that adults aren't meant to like them so much. They're not meant to think about them or criticise them or find the plot holes or say you do that they're going to make a lot of Star Wars hate videos about this. There are a lot of films now that appeal to both children and adults, like Toy Story. Everyone loves them. They have enough jokes in there for children and playfulness, but adults really enjoy the subtext as well. Even the Harry Potter films, love them or hate them, they appeal to both adults and children because they developed the films as they went on to suit adults more because the audience were growing up with the films. One of the most frustrating things is they have made a classic Star Wars films over the last few years, which is one of my most favourite films ever, Rogue One, and they haven't learnt from it. Maybe they should have looked at it and thought, yeah, Star Wars fans love this film, audiences liked it, made loads of money, but they completely ignored it. I hope in time that I'll be able to enjoy these 3 films, not like the other set of 3s, the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones and the other one. I can't watch them, they're just so bad. You are not after this film. Go watch the other ones for some entertainment.